Tam Talks explores life, spirituality, and general weirdness through quirky storytelling and laughter, lighting you up in your life journey. Let's go! Welcome back to another episode of Tam Talks. I'm intentionally sitting in the sun. I'm in Southern Ontario and it is late February, so it is time for the sun. Anyway, so I'm taking advantage and positioning myself, and also because it's like makes the skin look youthful. Anyways, today we are going to talk about all of the interesting energies that have been swirling around. Whether or not you are spiritual, you may have, and you may, in and out as time goes, feel these weird energies. And sometimes, so there's so many. So every month we have a new moon, we have a full moon. Every, oh gosh, I don't even, like, on a daily basis. If you look into astrology, or if it interests you at all, you can get a lot of explanations there. And for me, I have a limited knowledge. I'm so interested, and I love when it's explained to me, and it's almost like, oh, okay, and I can piece it together. So as far as energy goes, and listening to someone who I trust and who communicates clearly what's going on, I love Lee Harris. So he is a medium. He's an intuitive, like, he's just this incredible being. And he does an energy update every month. He's on YouTube, he's on Instagram. I'm sure he's on other platforms that I'm not, but I watch him. And his podcast. So he'll have the same energy update that carries across, and he'll do snippets of it, I think, for social media. But YouTube and or the podcast platforms, that's where I love. So usually the first of the month, sometimes he'll do it earlier, but he's like, let's take a pulse. I can't remember what his tag is, but anyways, it's like, on what's going on. And he talks through what's ahead for the month and what kind of energetic things are going on and what we may anticipate and kind of trends and things to expect. So it just gives you, it's not like a pre-suggested, because sometimes you would think, okay, well, I don't want someone telling me what's going to happen. And then, through intention, through intention, I start to sway it that way. No, it's more of like a zoomed out, look for some of these things that may present themselves. Because the other thing too is, maybe all themes don't apply to you, but maybe there's 2 or 3 that you're like, oh my gosh. So what I will often do is listen to his energy updates. And if things are like wild or something mid-month, I'll listen again and be like, ooh, okay, let me just see if there's something going on energetically that matches this, that can explain all of this. So Lee Harris, he's flippin' amazing. And his website is Lee Harris Energy, I believe. So he has tons of cool offerings. He has live events, retreats. I'm actually going with a couple of friends to his live event in Toronto in June, I believe, the end of June 2026. So yeah, and he travels all over the world. He's amazing. So next up is Sabrina Lynn from Rewilding. So she is hilarious. When you listen to her, so she's American, and I think she's from Wisconsin, and she sounds like a surfer when she talks. She's hilarious. Anyways, she is heavily astrology based, and a lot, obviously she's in tune with energy and intuitive, like she's all of that, but her specialty is astrology and gods and goddesses and how you work with those archetypes. And so she offers tons of things, but anyways, she has a podcast as well. She has a weekly forecast, and so similar idea. She'll do online events. I just did her Arrive. It was like a 3-day virtual event, and it was free. It was completely free. And the amount of value that was given in that. And basically, she holds a container for you for personal growth, for spiritual growth. Um, and she's very raw and real. And she's very passionate and very sincere. I think, anyways. So Sabrina Lynn, and it's called Rewilding for Women. I believe that's her handle on Instagram. She's also on YouTube, has her podcast, and I know she's on Facebook. I'm not, but so she's referred to a group or something on there. So, anyways, these are the people who I default to. I try to be very careful with what I consume. I have to make sure that the sources where I'm consuming these things are trustworthy, that I feel connected and I feel aligned, soul aligned, anyways, with them. So Sabrina Lynn Rewilding, love her. And she has like a membership as well. Anyways, she has courses. Oh my gosh, so many things. She's actually, I wish I could somehow, like, she could be my mentor. But yeah, look out ahead, because I think with Hannah and I and our aligned, soul aligned events, we're going to be creating some really cool things. So, anyways, enough of the self plug. Let me get that in there. So, locally, talking about astrology, Rebecca Nicole is a friend of mine, and she's under Rebecca Nicole Soul on Instagram. And I'm pretty sure she has, yes, YouTube as well. So you can find that under her Instagram. But so this is like local. Actually, she's in Toronto. I would say I met her when she was in Norfolk. So she's kind of can move, and she's a bit of a nomad as well. She likes to travel. So at any given point, you could see her. She's in Thailand or, so anyways, but she feels local to me because we've hung out before and she's come to my circles and, all the things. So she is a genius with astrology. So I have had my birth chart done with her before, I think twice. I don't know. Anyways, or we've referred to it many times, but the way that she explains things that are on your chart and why you are who you are, basically, oh my gosh, it is inspiring. It's uplifting. It's like an aha moment, because people who poo-poo astrology baffle me, because I've always, since I was a kid, like my mom has always been very open-minded and very much very curious about everything. And so we've always like tapped into spiritual things while being churchgoers, and I mean spiritual things outside of organized religion, like being open to doing, having our tarot cards read, to sitting down and doing whatever, just cool things. So we've always tapped into, like, my mom has a birthday book, which is literally every single day of the year. And it's like this in-depth description based on who you are because you were born on that day. So anyways, I love astrology. It's just I feel like life is a bunch of these puzzle pieces, and our soul came here to basically experience, learn, love, whatever it was that we decided before we arrived for this lifetime. And during the lifetime, it's almost like when we pop into human form, we forget the agenda that we planned, and everything as a soul being in that plan, in our whole soul evolution of all these lifetimes that keep happening. When we pop in and we're like, oh, here we are born, we're like in this lifetime, all of that super awareness of our journey vanishes, because we're not meant to, on the conscious level, know about it until we live it out. And that's why our gut, our intuition, that's why we have pulls to certain things, because at a soul level, that also, I believe, we start to uncover. So as we grow in our personal growth and spiritual journey, that it's almost like the fog starts to clear, because we're getting in contact with our souls, and we're kind of like reconnecting back into that true deep meaning. And so when we go on this journey, it's almost like putting puzzle pieces back together so that we remember what our soul had planned for this journey. And that's why in like meditative states, I love meditation, but that's why in meditative states you can get these like wild visions, but these deep knowings, and you can see past lives and future and alternate and all the things, and not really know what's going on, but feel like you know, because it is, right? Oh my gosh, I just go off on the tangent. So anyways, back to astrology. So back to Rebecca. I love Rebecca. So she gives, like, I've had a reading where we sit down and she basically talks through it with you. She does all these amazing videos on Instagram as well, where she chunks it down. And that's also Sabrina Lynn, Lee Harris. Like, you'll get these snippets and it's like, whoa. And also, I always say, like, pay attention, because as much as I don't want to be in front of a screen all the time. The times when I pick up the screen to answer a message or whatever, and I go into that first spot, that first page that comes up on Instagram, for example, I always feel like that's there for a reason. What I'm seeing is there for a reason. And as you begin to kind of hone your belief system, what you want to attract, what you want to let go of, what you don't want that exposure around, it's true, like your feed is going to be curated. And so the more tapped in you are, the more open you are to this soul deep, positive, beautiful trust, the more messages you're going to receive. And so I love, like, when I first open it up, whatever, messages on there, it's usually spot freaking on. So anyways, I'm going to wrap this one up. Astrology, yes. Oh, and you know what else I want to add? So I, like I said, I'm very limited with my knowledge of birth charts and astrology, but I'm trying to learn. So basically there's your sun, your moon, your rising. And this was explained to me, and your north node, there's all these different things. But so your sun sign is what, like your zodiac, right? So that's like, I'm a Libra. And then your rising sign is what you came here to become, or master, if you want to put it that way. And then your moon is like your emotional representation. I hope I did that right. If not, please refer elsewhere. But so for me, I'm a Libra sun, Libra rising, and an Aquarius moon. So I am all like, blah, like just air. And then there's different, like, you can learn about which element you are, which your north node and your south node. I like Sabrina Lynn, actually, I learned this from her, that your north node is your dharma. That's like what you came here to be, and who you, like, your life purpose. That's like your dharma, the north node. So looking to see what's in your north node. I should have brought my chart to talk about this, but whatever. You guys probably don't actually care about my chart, but it's about your chart. Seeing where these placements are. And then your south node is your karma. So that's what you came here. That's like your learning, what you, like what you need to move forward from, I think. That's how I want to describe it. Anyways, so I highly encourage you, if you don't already follow those 3 people, and if you aren't already interested, maybe look into your birth chart and see, because it is like just another soul-based option for you to connect within, and for you to put those puzzle pieces together and figure out what this life is all about for you, what your journey is, what you're meant to do, your soul purpose. So anyways, thanks for listening, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out. Thanks for hanging out and listening to my wild and wacky Tam Talks. Follow Tam Talks to be notified of new episodes. Peace out.